Like we're online. We're on the air, live. Welcome to everybody to another Drupal and Coffee. I am your host, Chris Weber, along with Lowell Johnson Jr. Do we say the whole thing now?
You just did. Hello, everybody.
Um, this week, we are continuing our effort to make a Drupal site over the course of many weeks. We're using Drupal 8 to make a website for a local robotics team. And we are using the paragraphs module in Drupal 8 to make a series of components that they will be able to reuse while they make content for their site. Last week, we made the image and text component success. It's actually a really good show. Felt like we finally made progress there. And this week, we're going to finalize work on our not 3-up, I like to call it a grid component that can have as many up in front-end developer speak as you want. Just a series of teasers, but we've spiced it up a little bit by adding the ability to declare how many columns the grid has, so that the component can decide how to format a grid of as many as you choose. But we decided that last week we would limit this to having no more than 4. The 4 would be the limit. 4 columns. So tonight we're going to take a look at the work we've done so far, try to figure out where we are and what we have to do next. We're going to make that grid component, and then we're going to find a way of exporting, try to find a really nice way of exporting the work that we've done for both the image and text component and the grid component, so that we can reuse them for other projects in the future. Sound like a plan, Lowell?
That sounds great.
Let's get to it. So if we look at the page that's rendering right now, here is the piece of content we've created, and we have placed an image and text paragraph component. I'm going to use the word component for the remainder of the show. That's using the paragraphs module. And here is the grid of, we've got a grid of 3 items right now. I think so that we can make sure that we're in a good starting place so that we can explain what we're doing here, we should take a look at how this looks on the edit page for this piece of content. I guess I should make sure if I don't have any breakpoints. I do have a breakpoint there. That's kind of, let's not jump ahead, but I actually had some time to do some pre-show, so we've got some code to talk through. So okay, here is the page, and as far as regular pieces of content, the only pieces that exist that we see it in like a basic page, normal out-of-the-box Drupal content, is this title field. We've got a title field, and we've got a language field because we turned the internationalization features on. Other than that, we're dealing with paragraphs, and the first paragraph is an image and text. The second one is a grid, and we've only linked in 3 pieces of content. We selected 1 column at the time. That was good of us, because yeah, it is definitely showing in 1 column right now. So I guess we're done though. Let's change this to 3 columns, and see, we set the limit to 4, and no matter how hard I try, maybe if I got rid of that 4 and I typed in a 6, And I tried to save. It won't let me go higher than 4. That's very nice. Let's do 3 for now, like the image showed. And let's see if we can first retrieve that value for the columns, and then see if we can create some kind of decision tree on picking the right class. Now, the theme we're using is Bootstrap. And so if you knew Bootstrap, you would be ahead of me, because I don't know it, but I picked it because I thought that these high school developers might be able to pick it up quickly. So we're not doing talking about the pre stuff. We kind of took a stab. If you've seen our last show, we took a stab at trying to create the markup, the twig template, to drive this grid component. But we were unsuccessful because we couldn't get to the information about the entity references inside of the twig template. And at the very end of the show, we decided the proper course of action, proper strategy of fixing it, would be to try to create a preprocess hook so that we can manipulate the variables and create some new ones before processing happens. So this is the start of that code. This is a little bit of a sleight of hand because I kind of figured out this code while preparing for tonight's show. So basically, where we are right now is we've got this dummy class called Sammy. We're trying to prepare an array of teasers. We're trying to get to the field that should have all the entity references, and then figure out a way to get the render arrays that that field has for all of those entity references somehow. And I previously tried to just figure out how many entity references I'm going to have and then get to specific items. But Lowell, you had this idea that I could just use a for each and then figure out how many of those things actually have an integer key. And that seems to be a better way. Let me just refresh the page so everyone can see what happens when we hit this breakpoint. So in this preprocess hook, I have variables. And inside the variables, I have content. And here is my field content, that has all the entity references. And inside there, I got a whole bunch of junk, including this items, which has a lot of detailed information that's just, I don't even know why I would need any of that. But I do have these really obscure bits of the array, and judging how this looks right here, because it has this theme key, sharp theme, I know that this is one of Drupal's render arrays. And in it, it would have all the information it needs in order to properly be rendered. It has the view mode, it has all the information about a node, it has the cacheability information that Drupal 8 has added so that it would know how to properly render out this render array in an efficient manner. So it's really these items here that I want, and I don't want anything else. I just want to grab these things here, and I have the sinking suspicion that there is a really neat way of doing this with some kind of API call. Lowell, do you think that it might be worthwhile to like quickly search for some kind of Drupal API call that gets to the children of a render array?
I do. I think it would be valuable just to see how you look for it.
Let's go to good old API Drupal.org. And for this page, I'm going to let it stop working so hard. You may stop now. Okay, so something with children, maybe. Element children, that sounds interesting. I seem to remember that in Drupal 7, there was an API call that was named Drupal Children. Or element children. Children. Take a look at this one. Identifies the children of an element array, optionally sorted by weight.
Oh, there it is. Look at the next line. Wow.
So let's get a good idea of how it's used. So this is the actual code for it. And it does the for each. Doing a lot of things. So let's check to see how it's used. It's build form. Oh, it's called Statically. Just straight up element children. Okay. Let's see if we can create a new one of these things.
So, can you describe what we did try that did seem to work, even though now we're looking for a better way?
Sure. What did work is that we tried to access the field that has all the entity references. And we separated the key and the value. And if the key was an integer, then we know it's one of our entity references. This would probably be better illustrated if I refresh the page again, so we can hit that breakpoint. Got some code. Of course, that is a bug, so rid of it.
Oh, now I see what you're laughing at. There was a little bit of lag.
So the content is really just everything that's in field content, our field that has all the entity references. And when we check the key for anything that is an integer, we're kind of using that as a shorthand way of saying, give me these. And that's all we want. I want to get rid of everything else. So that seems to be working. So if we look at the contents of the variable that I created for that, it's just these three items and their entity references. No teasers. So let's see if we can get a similar result if we used that function that was element. Hey, what are you saying? Oh, am I gonna have to like include the element? I don't want to do that if I have to do that. How does it know? I can do this. It doesn't think it wants me to import a class into a preprocess. No, thank you. That's a deal breaker right there.
Really? And why is that a deal breaker for you?
Because we're not dealing with Drupal 8-ish object-oriented code here. We're dealing with traditional Drupal hooks. And the idea of mixing the statically called children off of an element with a preprocess hook is just gross to me.
Okay.
It's blowing up my mind.
That's a nice explanation. I like it.
So I'm going to take the Lowell method of filtering out the keys this way. I'll get rid of the way that I originally made here. Clean this up a little bit. We got, oh, I'm not even using this. I did all that work to set up an empty array, and here I am setting teaser to the value. I guess I'll set that to teasers. Yeah. Okay. Because that's what I'm putting into the variable, right? Yes. Yes. Good. So we've got this column class named Sammy. And that's just my default placeholder. I wrote kind of a note to myself that we need a decision tree for picking which class it is. So we just need a way of getting to the value for field column. The other field that we have. Every time I clear the breakpoint, I need that value again. So here's a neat PHP Storm trick for your Lowell.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to get to like exactly where this columns is, the information I need for this field. I know it's in content, so I'll expand that. And here it is, field columns. It's got a lot of stuff in there. And we have to figure out how to get the actual value. Probably the same method. Get into there. Or maybe some other kind of way. But I basically want this in a variable. I'll right click and copy path. And then I'll put that in a variable. I'll say columns. See what was copied to the clipboard?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
There we go. So what's the best way to get to this value here? It could be that original method that we used when we were trying to get to similar values in image and text. You remember this?
Mm-hmm.
We were accessing the field, and then we did like a get value method. But here in preprocess, I wonder if that works. I'll just set a new variable. I'll try to use column. I think columns has a key called items. You see how that is an object of field item list?
Ah, the value. Yeah, you're after the value in there.
Yeah.
Would you use the dash greater than symbol now?
I don't know what you mean when you say,
Oh,
oh, you mean like that?
yeah, I don't know.
Get to some kind of method
Yeah.
from field item list. I almost feel like this is the traditional space where we would use entity metadata wrapper.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, now you're talking.
So we just need to get to the value somehow. So let's check the API again. Fact. Whoops. Whole browser crashed. Drupal. We need to find something that allows us to retrieve data from fields, kind of like entity metadata wrapper. Well, we do have the paragraph object. And that's an entity. So can we access the paragraph object? Yeah. And what are your methods? Oh, look, there's a fields. Cool. I'll show fields. Use constants. Okay. It's got the entity.
There's your little dash value thing.
Yeah. That has echoes of being able to traverse from the entity to a specific field and then getting the value of that. Well, let me ask Stack Exchange. Drupal 8, get field value from entity. I guess I could view a slideshow. I guess they're all saying entity, get field name, get value. That's neat. Boy, if that worked, wouldn't that be great if I could do that for the grid too? So let's give it a shot. So instead of getting items, we could say paragraph equals variables. Did I lose my debug? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's get it back. the whole browser crashed. That's why. Like, code 5. Yep. All right. Blew it up. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Get the bug working. Good. Listening. Good. Refresh. Refreshing. Hit. All right. Put in the variables. Things. Go into content. Well, wait a minute. Here it is. Here's the paragraph right here. So, copy that in here. I'll get it. And then I'll take the weird step, type hinting, paragraph to be a paragraph.
Okay, can you explain what that does?
Sure. I'm going to teach my IDE how to properly deal with this data value. Because when I'm pulling value from an array like this, it doesn't know the difference between a string of text, an integer, or an object. And my IDE is telling me that what I'm getting in this variable is an object. So I want my IDE to know that too. So that I can do things like this. Paragraph. Now, because I typed it, it knows all these things about it. And one of the things that it has, apparently, is get, which if I give it a field name, it will get me a field or a specific kind of field.
There it is.
Oh, the get data? Yeah. But apparently, if, for example, this was a node, all I would really have to do is give the name of the field. And then value. At least that's what I think this is saying. Oh, get value. Get value. That. Which is kind of similar to what we did here, where we were getting items and then getting the value of the first thing, like that. The content field orientation. So, crazy experiment. This might completely fail, but let's give it a shot. See if this works. I'm gonna have to move this over. Hasn't blown up yet. What is in field? I've got an array of one thing. What just happened? Oh. It's got a value of 3. And because this is PHP Storm, what I'm able to do is I'm able to open an expression evaluator. So I can write some code on the fly and test that too. So code that I was just testing was paragraph field columns get value. What happens if I try to get the value of field content. Yeah. Do you see that?
Yes. That's much easier than doing any kind of for each loop.
Uh-huh. I like that's a lot cleaner too. So I think we just found something really, really interesting, that the render array returns the whole object with all of the things and all the referential integrity that I want to be processing through. And if I change my code so that I get columns here, you know what's also interesting? I'm saying get value, and it's not giving me literally the value. It's giving me an array, and inside that array, it has the value, which is weird. So it's almost like I have to do that.
Eh?
Is there another get?
Maybe get data. Try simply get data.
Yeah, you called that one out.
Oh.
But it's not available if I'm referring to a specific field like this.
Ah, okay.
Get name. Get string.
Hmm?
Get string.
That sounds familiar.
Turns a string representation of the data.
Question, how would it handle a multi-field?
I don't know. Don't care though. When I'm working for columns, not the other one. The other one I'll do get value. Oh snap!
So you just have the number that you need with that one line.
I do just want the number. Thank you very much. I guess
I like watching the way that you're figuring it out. That's that's really, really nice.
So we'll just directly ask the paragraph, hey, could you get me all of the field content, get value? Thank you very much.
Get rid of the whole for each. Yay.
We'll get rid of all this. And then we're still not ready to return. We can get rid of this one here.
We did everything, like this is the third. We did everything 3 times.
Well, knowledge builds on top of other knowledge.
I think most of writing code is deleting bad code.
You don't say. All right, so our teasers still have 3 items, and oh no, no, that's not going to work.
Is that just a reference to it?
No, this is traditionally what is returned from a entity metadata wrapper. It's just the bare bones information about the thing. It's not the actual render array.
Yeah.
So we would then have to load in the node.
Yeah, that target ID, right?
Yeah, let's back that out. Still going to need the for loop, but we do have a good way of getting to the value for the columns. That's real nice. Okay. So we've got the value of the columns, and we just basically need some kind of decision tree that helps us decide, based on how many columns we have, what should the column class be. Now, I already know that where this is eventually going is that I want to side class. I know that I'm able to right-click the function to generate. That was supposed to work. I don't know why generate doesn't generate things for you. We have to go to refactor. Oh, come on. Import function. Ah, PHP Storm. Why can't you do this? Okay. I'll have my silly little ugly decision tree here. And I think this is switch territory. So one case, if it's 4, do something. Great. If it's 3, something. If it's 2, actually that's something. We just wanted to return. And if it's 3, different class.
Where are these names coming from?
My head.
Do you have cats?
I have only one cat.
Is it named Sammy or Billy or Sally?
It is not. Then I guess I don't need the brakes. And if it's 1, just return. 5, or nothing. An empty string. PHP Storm is not complaining that those other statements don't have brakes. It used to do that. All right. So let's figure out what we really need to do to define these classes. But before then, let's just make sure everything's working. Sound good?
I'm with you.
Cleaner. And we'll let it go through.
Angry cat.
There we go.
Oh, I see Billy.
See ya? It shouldn't be Billy. That's wrong.
You're inventing elements now.
Yeah, the template's wrong. All right, let's fix the template. What did I do? Oh, um, used to be this attributes add class classes, like that. And I guess I don't want to use class.
Well, could you put your variable inside of classes?
Yeah, I guess. I guess I could. But let me test this idea.
Yeah.
That. That should work, right? There we go. Go ahead, go through.
Now we're learning a little bit about Twig. Can it do?
Moment.
Do?
Step up. There we go.
Oh, it did it nicely.
I can't just append strings to div nilly-willy. But should it be Billy? Is that the I was expecting Sammy. Oh, it is 3. 3 is Billy. Got it. All right. So I've been prepared for this too. Trying to figure out what are the class names I should use for each of these things. And I found this interesting website. I hope I still have.
Now this is Bootstrap stuff now, right?
The Bootstrap stuff. Ha! I think I closed it. Or I think it crashed. Oh, here it is.
Shoelace.
So there's this website called Shoelace. If I click here, and if I expand it to how many rows I think it's going to need, let me collapse that. Then let me make another one. So this is if there were 2 columns. Then it just automatically shows me what that markup would be.
That seems so backwards. I'm used to doing the markup and then seeing what it looks like.
Yeah. So here's the 3 columns. And here's, I guess, 4.
To bookmark the shoelace thing.
So here is 2, 3, 4. And I can see here that if I want 1 row that the class is not empty, it's all the way across. 12. Guess I should create a new row there.
It's still loading.
No, it's not still loading.
Oh, it's done. Okay.
Yeah. So the lesson here is that if I want 2 columns, I need to use call SM6. If I want to have 3 columns, call SM4. If I want 4, call SM3. If I want 1, call SM12. So, put that in. 4 columns. Call SM3. 3 columns. Call SM4. 2 columns. 6. 1 column. Oops. If that did it. Haha. Got rid of that. Literally. Bam.
Oh, you have 3 columns.
Those are 3 columns right there. Look at one of them. Up. What's M4? Very nice. So now let's do what we did when we got the image and text paragraph working great. Let's edit it. See if we can modify how many columns there are. Ooh, I blew that up. Or did I? Modify the number of columns to 4.
Oh, I guess we have some lag.
Then I'll add the first column again. Save that.
Seems to me like you might want to count the number of columns someone has added and then just make it that.
Yes. Yes, I hear you. I hear you because you're thinking about it from an engineer's perspective. You're thinking about, shouldn't the system be smart enough to know how many columns you added and then decide, based on that, the proper way of breaking down. But content, I am making the bet here that the content creators will want to not have the system decide how the columns are going to be broken out. They want the ability to decide for themselves how the columns are going to be broken out.
I'm curious what happens if you tell it to do 4 columns, but then you only put in 2 or 3.
Well, it's the same thing. Like,
will Bootstrap handle it and show it as 1 empty column?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Without that there being any markup over there.
Right. So you're basically saying the situation. Let's go and edit this again. You're calling out the situation where, how many columns are there?
I don't know if I can see if it's just me or if I can't see what you're doing.
Oh. Well, I'm editing the node now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the grid component.
Maybe I need to refresh. Something's hung up here.
Am I not? What screen am I sharing? Yep, I'm sharing the right screen. Really easy with the laptop and you only have one screen to share. But you're specifically calling out a situation where there were like 4 columns, right? Did I lose you, Lowell? I did. So I think Lowell was calling out a situation where there were 4 columns, but there's only 2 pieces of content. So let's get rid of these. Get rid of that one there. Let's get rid of that one there. And then let's save it. How would that format? Well, we'll see. Here's the first. Here's the second. What it's doing is it's obeying. We're giving it specific classes. And it continues to get those classes. Call SN3. So it will just behave the way that it is programmed to behave, where it's going to appear how the CSS tells it to appear. Which, when I'm zoomed in here, pretty much like if I break it out like this to this breakpoint. And if I wanted to add more classes to it, like if there was some rule that says every time I have a grid like this, and I give it SM3, I need to give it other classes that Bootstrap might want for different breakpoints and stuff like that, then I can go ahead and do that. That's weird. Like JavaScript error. Not my concern. But what is kind of concerning is that here is the original picture of how we wanted the teasers, and see how there's an image above each of these. Well, I'm not getting my image in there. So if I did everything the way that I wanted it to be done, all I need to do to add the image is to modify Drupal's view mode for the article teaser and make sure that the image shows up. Make sure the article has an image field, and then make sure it shows up. So let's see if I can do that. Go into the structure and find the article content type. Here it is. And I'm just going to jump directly to the manage display because articles should have images by default. I'll close you so I can get more screen. Yes, has an image. And I am looking at the default view mode right now. See, it's on default. If I go to teaser, oh, it's also displaying the image. And it's displaying the tags. Maybe I don't want to display tags. I'll display it for now. The image is there. So maybe I just need to go into the content for that specific, for one of these articles at least, and prove that an image can show up. Thanks for volunteering, second. Where can I get an image of a cat? Ooh, I know. I want an image of a goat. There we go.
I have returned.
Hey, Lowell. Well, I don't know if you saw it, but I ran through your exercise.
Yeah.
And now I'm adding goats.
I did not see anything.
Oh, okay.
So what?
Well, I just added a goat.
Yeah.
And you're welcome.
Okay.
Let's take a look at how the, and then I'll look at the scenario you wanted me to look at. Oh, that's a really tiny goat.
Oh, so you have two entities referenced, and you set it for 4 columns.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. That's
what's really going on here is that because we've got Bootstrap, if I push it to its breakpoint, then the items stack.
Yeah.
As they should. And in order to make sure that the image appears on top, I'm going to have to get into the article teaser view mode and make sure that I can be in control over its template. Now, I thought I just looked at this. Let me open this in a new tab. Because I thought that I am telling the system that I want the image first. That is funny. Oh, it's just above the body. Wait, that's default. That's not really different. Well, I do want this to be large. Yeah, I'm gonna need to take over the template.
Because you want to move the title down. Is that it?
Yeah, I want it to look like this: image, title, text, and links. So, can I even do that?
I thought they were treating titles like fields for some reason. I'm forgetting what I'm vaguely remembering. But
Well, let's take a look at one of these teasers. What do we have available? So, we've got debug mode on, so we get all this extra HTML comments telling us the anatomy of what we're seeing. And then we see that wow, we've got a title is a field here. Ooh. So it's using the node template, and it's telling me that a node teaser or a node article teaser template is available. And I am tempted to just go ahead and grab that. Go. Let's go ahead and find node twig. Node HTML twig. Here's node twig.
wait,
Own template. Not a node. Our thing. Our template.
so where did you choose to get that from?
The question was, where did I choose to get that from? So when you say that, do you mean the template I'm creating right now?
Are you? Let me. Oh, you got a blank one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, the node.html.twig file.
Well, in PHP Storm, I said enter file name, and then
Okay, so you went to the core modules node.
Yeah. I suppose I could have taken it from Babel or whatever, but I'm not being partial right now. In fact, the only thing I really want in what I've pasted in is the code comment. Probably going to change everything else. Let's get a better view at this code. There it is. Article, attributes, title prefix, display submitted. Well, I don't want any of this. So this is the first to go. And I'm going to use an H2 for the label. That's fine. But before we get there, I want to get something out of content. I want the image here. I'm going to put content above and below for now. And because we have gone through this before, I'm just going to go ahead and dump everything. And then I'm going to figure out what are the things that I want to print out here. I'm pretty sure that after the title, all I want to print out is the body. But maybe I want to print out the links. That's something to do. Did that exist? I'm just guessing. Let's see what damage we've done. Maybe I have to hear the rebuild the cache. You know, that. I will wait. Go back.
Oh, look at this.
It's dumping things. Well, we've got the whole node. And we've got field image. We've got body. The tag. Links.
Keep going. I want to see if your
Yeah.
body and links worked.
Now, in good old Drupal 7, we had a way of rendering a few things and then telling it to just go ahead and render the rest. Remember that?
I seem to remember having seen some kind of an unset.
Yeah.
But
So in a perfect world, I'd just have to tell it to print out field image like this. Print the image at the top. Then do whatever it wants to do with the title. Then print out the rest.
it's interesting.
See if that works.
Did you yeah.
Probably should remove the dump for this. So it did print the image twice, but it did print the image above the title. So Drupal 8,
I think there's an unset.
how to hide a field. Unset, you say?
It's vaguely somehow I remember.
Drupal 8 twig filters. We looked this up last time.
And I'm thinking it was a method.
A method.
Yeah.
Translate filters to what? Place hold. Without. The without filter creates a copy of the red array, removes child elements by key.
Oh, without.
Content without links.
That's really cute.
Content.
Without field image. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's check the markup for that. Here we are. Well, that is just straight up printing the image there like that. Wrapping it in link and a div that once we have some padding. And I guess at this point, if I wanted to clean that up so that it doesn't have the div if I don't want it to, then I'm going to have to get into this formatter. Clean that up. But I'm good with it for now. I can have images above things. And now if I look at it, using the really tiny thumbnail version of the image. I guess the only thing I really need to make sure of is that when the image is used, that it is breaking. Not so much. Dang.
I have no idea how you. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Make sure this div is it clear. Oh, yes. I don't know. There's probably something more I need to fix with the responsive images and how it just naturally is using the thumbnail version.
It's really small.
It's really weird. I'm not sure if I could fix that by going into the manage display because I'm just telling it.
Seems like it's trying to do like 25% of the width of the div that it's in.
Yeah. Definitely seems to be percent based.
Everything else seems to be flowing very well for you.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just take a quick look into the responsive images. Image styles. What is it?
So this is a fresh install with just the paragraphs enabled?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that you, right.
I'll let that page load. The next thing and the final thing we're going to do tonight is to make sure that we can export these things so they can be installed later in new sites. Oh, it's not even on. Not even on. That's weird.
I'm guessing that the Bootstrap theme is
Yeah.
doing that.
I don't quite know. So let's ignore it for now.
So what, I didn't catch what you said the final exercise is going to be.
I want to be able to export the definition of these paragraphs so that they can be installed in sites in the future. They're so atomic. They're so basic. I want to be able to, I guess, use something like the features module. Try to organize and collect all the information about these components so that I can just have them be things I can turn on another site. But I don't know if the features module is ready. I don't know if it's going to do the job I think it is going to do for Drupal 8. I've got an alpha.
So in the limited experimenting that I've done, and what features is probably going to automate is when you export all of your config, you can identify the configuration files that are related to your paragraphs configuration.
Mm-hmm.
You can strip the UUIDs out of those, and then you can add those to any other config import, and it would activate as long as your paragraphs module is enabled. It would add that configuration to the new site. So,
Do I have to strip the UUID out?
I think so. But the goal of features is to do that for you automatically. And I mean, you don't have to go find all the parts. You just tell it what the thing is that you want to export, and it collects all the parts for you.
Should I try features? Is that
Yeah, I don't think it breaks anything. I tried it a few months ago and had a bunch of user interface issues. But I'm sure it's much better now than it was then.
What version did you use?
I don't remember. Well, dev, but it was from a few months ago. There was no alpha yet. And I think the initial work on the features module was done almost a year ago.
We're going to try something brand spanking new.
It's just really nice to watch you doing it, and I don't have any of the associated headaches.
That's what this is for. Let me go through all the frustrations for you.
Thank you.
This is also to kind of like have a window into the learning process.
That requirement looks new. There's a config update module that is downloading as well.
And the config update UI.
Yeah. It's nice. We should be seeing a lot of interesting config modules.
I think so. During the AAA era, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's installed, and when features was installed in Drupal 7, it had something under structure. But I'm also curious to look at the extend page again. Let me refresh this page. And the configuration page.
Yeah, in this case, it's going to be in the configuration.
So on the structure page, I don't see a features section.
Right.
Maybe I have to flush the cache, but
yeah, it's not there.
Here's the extend page. Features UI is enabled.
It's in the configuration manager area.
I'm going to click on configure here. Here's the configuration page for that loads. We got features underneath development.
Synchronization and features. So it was previously inside configuration synchronization. Now I see they have it outside.
Yeah. Let's close that. Well, that's interesting. Features bundle doesn't seem to be getting everything it needs. I'm just refreshing the page. It's still there. Well, this is interesting.
Wow, this is all new to me.
Use the form below to manage bundles. Each bundle comes with a set of assignment methods. By configuring and ordering the assignment methods, you can set the defaults for what does and doesn't get packaged into your features bundle. Yeah.
Create a new bundle at the top.
Yeah, that's grayed out. I'm not actually able to change the name here.
Okay.
Doesn't seem to be ready.
Sad.
This is overwhelming. I mean, assignment method, packages, detect and add existing modules, exclude configuration items from packaging. And then I can configure that.
Yeah, I'm looking at all that. It's like you need to know a lot to try to use this.
Yikes. For example, if image styles selected as a site type, site package will be generated and image styles will be assigned to it.
Sammy.
Does that even do anything? I wonder what this does.
So you enabled everything and named it Sammy. Saved.
How do I create a feature? Oh wait, I go to here. Is that tab always there?
I thought you just created a bundle. Oh well. Paragraphed article is not selectable.
Yeah. How do I make it?
Yeah, I think this is the area I started getting stuck on also. Not understanding what it meant when I clicked one of them and why some of them were not selectable.
Well, look at there.
What did you do?
I clicked on the name of the thing.
Well, this looks familiar.
Yes, it does. And then I want to be able to say, export the paragraph type for grid and image and text.
Oops, you have a nested paragraph there.
Yeah.
Do you have an image style that you modified? No.
Kind of, not really.
Oh, those were, yeah, you wouldn't want to add, right? You're just looking for the atomic.
Yeah.
You could select your new bundle, I think.
I'm just checking to see if the download archive button works. Looks like it did. But instead of being a .tar, it's a .tar PC. What's in it? It's my tar. My folder. Wow, this, that. Easy. And if I tell you right, I don't know if it's doing anything.
Yeah, that looks like it's not finished. We had to give it path options before.
Jeez. Well, I could download it. That's all I really need. Hello, we finished a half hour early.
You're amazing.
So I guess where we are right now is that this is something that I can demo to the robotics team to show them this bare bones theme and the content structures that are in it. I can take this archive and bring these components into other pieces of content. I guess I could figure out how to export the individual paragraph types. One at a time. I didn't actually tell it to export the paragraph particle, just the um, grid. And then I can move my pre-process functions and my template to the module that this creates. I'm just too tired to do that right now. And I don't know if we're going to have anything for next week, so I think we need to brainstorm things that we could tackle for next week. You have any more fix-its?
I'm kind of brain dead right now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We'll have to brainstorm a few more things. Maybe we'll be able to ask around, see if anybody has a tricky thing that they want us to go through, or wants to demo something, try to walk through something. Thanks again, Lowell, for showing up tonight and helping out. It's always great to do this with somebody.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
And I'll see you later.
Are you planning to make it to the mid camp?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We can get a couple more of these in before that.
Yeah.
Okay, have a good night.
You too, man.